Your Excellency, Minister of State for Foreign Affairs, Mr. Shahriar Alam Sahab, Excellency Syed Muazzam Ali, our esteemed High Commissioner of Bangladesh and a very effective High Commissioner of Bangladesh in India, Honorable Ram Madhavji, the architect and the visionary of this type of a dialogue, which probably is 2 plus whatever it might add up to. I think in democracies, when people meet, the public democracy is always more than 2. Because governments are important, but governments are the creation of the people in the democracies, and therefore what people believe, the leaders are expected to reflect that. And there cannot be something which is a governmental dialogue which is totally devoid and insulated from what the people feel. So here it is a combination where both the people and their representatives are represented. So I definitely feel that it's a very, very important forum. Ladies and gentlemen, firstly, my most profound apologies. It's extremely embarrassing for me to be here so late. And I had requested first Mr. Ramadhavji for sparing me about 15 minutes that I'll be late from an important engagement. But probably it took a little longer. I feel very humbled about it, and I'm extremely sorry for that. And particularly to our esteemed guests from Bangladesh. And I can assure you it doesn't always happen, but it does happen sometimes. So when it happens, we are genuinely and very sincerely sorry for that. Well, friends, by April 2014, it was almost clear, not only in India, but also abroad, that probably there is going to be a change of government, a new leadership, a new government is going to come. And the different countries, different people, different think tanks reacted differently. There were different type of thoughts, apprehensions, hopes, not only within the country, but also outside. There was a very interesting article in Dhaka Tribune on April 29, 2014. It was written by Mr. Inam Khan, Shahab Inam Khan and Parvez Abbasi. I hope, or I wonder if they are also here, because they are quite important people. Probably not. They said that Modi era is coming. It's a matter of grave concern. It's a matter when Indo-Bangladesh relationship will have a very steep dip down. Said that the Awami League and Indian National Congress had historical links and had great confidence in each other. A new era is coming whose ideology, whose perceptions, whose views, probably about Bangladesh in particular and neighborhood in general, may be a matter of concern. These were the doubts. These were the apprehensions. I won't say that they were the prejudices, because after all, they didn't have any data. It's prejudices only when you start interpreting the data to suit your convenience. But that was an apprehension. We have moved a year ahead, exactly a year from now. The government would be completed, the new government would be completing its 1 year. And I think very discerning scholars who are here, and very analytical and intrusive minds that they have got, they must have noticed that there is a total consistency as far as Prime Minister Modi's neighborhood policy is concerned. Right from the beginning, even before he had taken over as a Prime Minister, he had taken the initiative. And that was his dynamism, that was his vision, which reflected in his inviting all heads of the governments for his swearing in. We got profound apologies because the most honorable Prime Minister of Bangladesh was out on a tour to Japan at that time. She couldn't come, but she was represented by the speaker, I think, at a very high level. And then shortly thereafter, when they met during the UN General Assembly, probably she made up for her absence on that day, but except her, probably all others were here. So neighborhood is something which is most important, and as Ramadhavji also pointed out that in his priorities of foreign policy, engagement with the neighborhood, communication with the neighborhood, finding solutions to the outstanding problems of the neighborhood. People of neighborhood, the problems of neighborhood. And whether it was a water scarcity in Maldives, or whether there's a problem of disaster in Nepal, or whether there's anything else that was happening, Prime Minister Modi was as much focused in saying what is there that India can do to alleviate their hardships, their sufferings, and see that by virtue of its size, by virtue of its position in the South Asian region, that it becomes the net contributor to the well-being of the countries in the neighborhood, with all of whom India shares a border. None of them share a border with each other, and with all of whom India has got very deep cultural and historical relationships. We are happy that year after now, not only the ruling party in Bangladesh, but even the people who are not in the ruling party, they do feel that this 1 year has been one of the brightest years of the bilateral relationships between the two countries. And the subject of today, that India relations, bilateralism and beyond. Now we are talking about bilateralism and beyond. The very fact that this thing was talked about, it means that you are not looking at the past, but you are looking for the future. You are not looking at the yesterday, but you are looking at tomorrow. It's a mental distinct of hope. You think to tomorrow when there is hope. You think of yesterday when there is despair. So we are moving into a new mindset. Now, in our neighborhood policy, Bangladesh is central. It is one of the most important, or rather I will say the most important neighbor for us. India was the first country that recognized it as a nation. The longest border is Bangladesh. People think that probably China border is too big, or Pakistan border is too this thing, but it's 4,900 kilometers. It is the longest border. The highest number of visas that India gives to any country in the world is from Bangladesh, 6.5 lakh. But that means that there are so many people who are keen to visit India, or who come to India for business, or for pleasure, or for medical treatment, or for stress studies, whatever is that. That is the people-to-people engagement. There is nowhere as it is with Bangladesh. In the South Asian countries, this is the country with which we have got the highest amount of trade. $7 billion, not a very figure that we could be very proud of. Probably there's much scope to improve on that, but the fact remains that this is the country with which we have got the highest number of trade relationships. And probably it would be a record this thing that 54 rivers, as I was hearing, flow from one country to the another. We share so many other things. We'll come to that, but the fact remains that in our neighborhood, Bangladesh is the most important neighboring country. And the last 1 year's experience that we have got with Bangladesh, we can say that we are really proud to have a neighbor like Bangladesh. We have received every comfort from them. It had been a very ideal bilateral relationship. They had been extremely sensitive and responsive to our needs, whether it was our security needs. Today I think we have got a much expanded scope or the domain in which we are cooperating, whether it is the northeastern insurgency, whether it was the coming of the counterfeit currency from abroad, whether it's a question of some unfriendly intelligence activities which are taking place on the Bangladeshi soil. That is, Bangladesh government has gone much beyond the normal things to see that the Indian interests are not hurt. Which is fully reciprocated when we learned in Bardhaman that there were certain people from Bangladesh who had come and had established certain things, they were doing something, which were not in the interest of the security of Bangladesh. And that security was as important for us. And therefore, despite certain our procedural problems, Prime Minister Modi insisted that the matter must be investigated and taken over by the central agencies. It is not only a matter of the few criminals indulging into some act which might be a violation of Explosives Act or the Arms Act or things like that. It is much beyond that. It's a question that an effort is being made to destabilize a neighbor who is our friend, in whose stability we have got a strategic interest. We are totally aware of the fact that any instability in our neighborhood and anything which undermines their security interest or their stability will undermine our own security and stability. It's a very happy thing for us that we are meeting at a time when we had first our maritime boundary was settled through a legal process. Important thing was not that that settlement came in July 2011, but everyone in both the countries supported, accepted and stood by it. It was welcomed. It is immaterial. I don't think that it's a matter of this thing that who gained, who lost. Maybe that we are quite happy that, well, if Bangladesh has been able to get 25,000 square kilometers of the maritime this thing, let it is fine. They are our neighbors. Good luck to them. It's very fine. We are happy that it is a settled maritime boundary. And that is what we wanted. And it was done on basis of something. You can change the principles on the basis of that could have been something else. But it was totally acceptable. It was welcomed by India. It was welcomed across the board, whether it was the different political parties or the think tanks or the different shades of opinion in the country. Everyone supported it, which shows the level of maturity that has developed between our countries. Now I think it comes as a very major things that the land border, which had been hanging fire for over 4 decades, have been this thing by the Indian Parliament, has settled that, and we are now moving in the right direction. We have also got an increased cooperation in defense matters. We have got joint training. Even some of the Indian officers are being sent to Bangladesh for training purposes. I had my own batchmates working here, or being trained here when I was in the National Defense College, about 26 years back. And we made very, very good friends. I think even General Shahab was a member of the National Defense College same years after that. So we have got this thing on the question of radicalism, on the question of extremism, the Islamic extremism, on the question of, you name a problem which relates to security, and we have got a very deep understanding and sensitivity towards that. Now, when the subject of this thing is about India relations, bilateralism and beyond. When you say beyond, it means basically you would like to say what is in the store for the future. Is it that we have reached a stage of relationship and reached the plateau? Or is it something that no, we have reached from where we can launch ourselves to a much greater and a much brighter future together? Now, ladies and gentlemen, there are so many commonalities, both of the problems and the possible solutions on which we can cooperate. I think a mention was made about what could be the the age of youth. I always thought that I would like to be within that, but it appears that he draws the line at 35. So, Bangladesh has got a big youth bulge. It's a great opportunity for Bangladesh. When the world's problem is facing the problem of aging, Bangladesh is going to have one of the very, very young population. As the Honorable Minister told me, it's about 60%. It's almost the same figure for India, with a population base of 1.25 billion. 65% people are below the age of 35. It means that together, we two countries will have a very major youth bulge. When in most of the developed countries, including the countries like China, are going to face a shrinkage of this. Now it poses, or rather it presents, very great opportunities and poses also some concerns. It is a matter of great opportunity because so many people, if they are empowered, if they are skilled, if they have got jobs, if they are satisfied, can really become the major driver of economic prosperity. And if they are deprived, probably they can become the major source of instability. Now, in India, for example, the Prime Minister has launched a very massive, this thing all of you might be aware that he keeps on talking about it, skill development. He wants to convert the human resource of India into the major driver of its future progress, where it is able to produce the world's best electricians, the plumbers, the artisans, the tradesmen, and everything that you can talk of, IT specialists or anything, to the nurses and the doctors and high-tech or low-tech or something like that, but the most skilled and efficient human resource. Don't you think that Bangladesh also needs it? Don't you think so many of our commonality together, we can work together for that? Well, you are one of the leading this thing of the garment exports today. It's good to see to us that one of our neighbor is much ahead of us, and that we probably rank 5th now. And Bangladesh is the biggest. Is it that is you can develop this industry further by having your own R&D systems? Would you like to co-opt some people from India? That you can go for new fashions, new designs, new fabrics, new type of other things like that, and develop the skills of the people who are involved in that the new generation of the people are not only be able to find jobs, but something, the value addition that they do is made many folds higher. Is it that, as we are planning that we are going for various types of industrial expansion and others, we are insisting that, well, if you invest in our country, or in case you are going to make in India this thing, one of the things that you have got to develop some institutional arrangement for skill development for the people. If you want to come in the aircraft industry, then have an institution for aerodynamics or aerospace, or the skills which are related with that. We would like to have the people who have got this thing. Probably this could be one this thing, the human resource development, a common strategy, a common platforms, a common pooling of resources, and probably will be too heavy. That will add to one another advantage, that a good number of them will find employment outside the country. And we know that the Indian diaspora outside and the Bangladeshi diaspora outside is one of the most important source not only of remittances, but also of the people who are staying abroad. But they live in silos. Well, personal contacts are very good. But then the Indians are holding their functions, or they are having this thing, the Bangladeshis are having this thing. Probably, we have got so much, as Mr. Ram Ardhanji was said, that, well, we have got a civilization and the cultural linkages and the commonalities and the commonality of the problems. Our polities are similar, our poverty is similar, our deprivations are similar, our youth aspirations are similar. Can't we, the Indian and Bangladeshi diaspora, come on common platforms, even if it's a question of creating constituency pressures to see that their rightful demands are taken care of by the countries which they have adopted as their new homes. Probably their collective voice will be much more effective. As in any case somebody is taken out or driven out from a factory, or they are not given the due wages, or they don't get the like type of the treatment, whether it is in West Asia, or it is in Europe, or it is in any other part of the world. Well, together they constitute numerical strength. Their strength lies in numbers. Together they probably can be distinct and can sing together. We have got a great distinct of energy, because energy is going to be one of the major drivers of development. India has come a distinct way on the thing of use of nuclear power. We have got about 21 nuclear power districts. I think I'm very happy that after the new government came, the Bangladesh government approached us whether we can help them, and we said that yes, we'll help them in seeing what can be this thing on I think with some Russian collaborative plants and others, about the training of the people, because their biggest problem was they didn't have the trained people for that. In addition to that, there is a lot of potential for hydro power generation in the northeast, which is very close to Bangladesh. it's a good thing that 500 megawatts have been diverted to that. I understand that after the Tripura plant, something more will come. But probably some more, this thing from Arunachal is likely to be this thing. Can there be joint projects? Can we try to see that the energy needs of Bangladesh are met? Or can we see that some of the gas which is available there, the Indian entrepreneurs can go and invest there to have the gas-fed power generating stations? So probably that's one other area of this thing, and they are incidentally only illustrative and not exhaustive. One of the important requirements that both countries will have would be exports. And have you analyzed that most of the things that we export are, or a larger number of them, are almost similar? It may be the garments, it may be the leather goods, it may be some of the other items, cantonments, etc. If our business people are able to have a much greater understanding, probably they get a much bigger market and they are in a much better bargaining position. I think the leather hides, India, Bangladesh and Pakistan, recorded for at one time, I don't know what the figures right now are, about 80% of this thing, which was going, but the best of the Italian leather shoes were being made, and actually the hides were going from the subcontinent. But what at a low price? The value addition there was many, many times more, because we were each other's competitors. Whereas they were able to, the European Union would be able to unite together to dictate the price, but we can't unite together to find. That is, in case we are the exporters of it, then we also say that we keep our prices commensurate to what we should be paying to our own labor force. We should be paying to this thing, whether it's for our capital, or it's for our land, or it is for our labor, or it is for this thing, whichever are the elements of production. Each segment is able to get its due share, commensurate with the international standards. If our products are going in the international market, then it should not be that our depravity should be the cause of somebody else's comfort. And I think one of the factors that we have got to put a lot of emphasis is about what I think Ramadevji always said, is about the communication. The connectivity and communication is very vital. It's good that now we have got plans for the railways. There are always already some things, but now from Tripura onwards, we think more of the road connectivity, even the river connectivity, the river trade probably can be done. And then we are members of various multilateral forums, right from the United Nations to maybe up to the SAARC or BIMSTEC, all this thing. Then again, the pressures which are coming on the climate and the environment from the international lobbies. Now, what happened was this, that when, firstly, the emission rates of the developed countries had been very, very high at some stage. In absolute terms, they have reached, and they have contributed maximum to the environmental degradation of the world. And now they want to impose those standards when they have reached the high level of development, when these countries, India and Bangladesh, have just started developing, and they have got to meet the basic aspirations and the needs of the people. And I think there are many such countries in the developed world who are with us on that. But probably, is it something that we can take common positions? And international forums, that is, we have got the consultation processes. That is, and then it will get the critical mass. There are many countries which I think are there with India, and there are many countries which will be there in Bangladesh, and together we form a very powerful lobby. And that sort of a relationship we have to develop to start it from the South Asian countries. If not all, at least as many of them who are prepared to become a party of it. And a good number of them face the same problems. Good number of them will benefit or be harmed. We are grateful to Bangladesh for supporting supporting India at various international fora. But probably more of that cooperation is required. Friends, as you know, that democracy is a system which has got many advantages, but it is also a slow delivering system. And in today's world of fast communications and the greater awareness of the people, aspirations of the people are very high. The expectations are very high. And the political process itself raises the level of aspirations. Because raising the level of aspirations is one of the ways of getting closer to power. Delivering that becomes problematic because the system of delivery in the democracy are delayed. They are bureaucratic, they are system-oriented, probably there are many things that go together. What is there that India and Bangladesh can do together? To provide fast relief and the fast pace of the pace of development, whether it is private business to private, whether it is government to government, whether it is in joint sectors, whether it is in joint ventures, whether it is on the defense and security cooperation. It's the speed is the mark of thing. Anyone who is able to do it in the real time is the winner now. We are living in the age, and I'll tell you that there was a time when the power remained with those people who owned the land. And then it changed. Power came in the hands of those people who owned the capital. And then it further changed. Power came in the hands of those people who mastered the technologies. Then it further changed. Power came into the hands of those people who controlled the markets. Then it further changed. And the phase that we are living in. Power concentrates in the hands of those people who control the minds and hearts. That is what we call information technology and others, that okay, we will make you think the way which is in my interest to make you think, and then the power is with me. And this power is going to be wielded by people, not who have got the intrinsic strength, but who have got the ability to leverage their strength in real time. And the downside of the democracy is going to be that is, this leveraging is not going to be done unless you have got the international support. And in that international support, the neighborhood support is most vital. And therefore, Bangladesh is very vital for India as India is for Bangladesh. I think with this, I wish a very, very bright future and a very bright things. I'm very happy. I'm very hopeful that very bright ideas and new thoughts must have emerged during this conference, and new ideas would have come. But it is not only generating the ideas, take the idea to a logical end. If you can convert an idea into an action plan, then only it is worthwhile. And if you can execute that action plan in the real time, that is where the success lies. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Doval Sahab. Friends, you all know that Doval Sahab is the best strategic mind in our country. So he has given us a strategic overview of a comprehensive overview of our bilateral relations. We move to the last part of this valedictory session. You know, there was this reference to youth bulge in our two countries. It is described as the demographic dividend. I don't know about Bangladesh, but for India, this dividend is not going to last for too long. Maximum, for us also almost same, because our birth rates have already started stagnating in a number of areas in the country. So we are in a hurry to use this youth bulge and, you know, make a big progress. Towards that end, we are releasing this Delhi Declaration. We are in a hurry because, you know, the operative part of it says that we want to do it at the shortest possible time.